BoogeyMan band coming round the bend. Is BoogeyMan band. Is BoogeyMan band.
Greetings, fellow Fright Fiends, and thanks so much for dropping by the Horror Zone channel. I hope everyone's doing well. This video is one that has taken me several weeks to put together. It took me a lot longer than I had anticipated. I announced it on my Instagram page and said that, I was going to do this video talking about my favorite collectibles, my top 10 horror collectibles, in both here in the Horror Zone and in the Horror Zone Lounge. I love everything that I own. Let's just put that out right in front. Everything that's in this room that I have now, I will never part with. I have in the past had some things that I collected that I no longer have in this room. If you look at some of my earlier videos, you might notice a couple of things that aren't here on the shelf anymore, especially on the shelf back there, up there. But now it's like everything that I have in here is here to stay. It's with me until I'm gone. It's funny, people might look at this and look at, a 50-year-old man collecting toys and things like that and think there's something off about it. But for me, it's like this channel and my Horror Zone and the lounge, they make me feel less alone. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But my whole life I felt alone. And I don't know why. It's but the stuff in this room and my movies and everything, they make me happy, and that's why I do what I do. I do this stuff because I love it. And even if I didn't have this outlet, this medium, which I hold near and dear, and the people that watch it, who I really appreciate and care about, I would still collect stuff. So I wrote them all down. I got my sheet of paper in front of me, and what I'm going to do is, if it's something that I can actually physically pick up and show you, I will do that. If it's something that's on a shelf or somewhere that's a little harder to access, I will use my camera and showcase the item in question. So it's going to go from 10 all the way down to number 1. I hope everyone enjoys this, and here we go. Okay, number 10 for me is going to be this Polar Lights Psycho House that I have up here on the shelf. This is something that I put together myself, and I'm not someone that puts models together very often, so I'm pretty proud of the way it looks. I will turn the light on the camera so you guys can see it a little bit better. It's not perfect. Some of the little pieces I've lost over the years, but I've had this since 1999. Summer of 1999, I got it. It was one of the first things I ever bought off the internet. My mom finally got internet at our house that summer, and I had a hell of a time putting this thing together. I remember spilling paint on my mom's rug. One night that I was actually painting this, and my mom and her friend Josie came home drunk and told me to take them to IHOP because they were hungry, and all I wanted to do was finish putting this together. But I am still very proud of this, and I think it looks pretty good for, someone who's not used to putting model sets together. See it, like I said, it's not perfect, but it still looks pretty good for being as old as it is. And I know they've come out with newer ones of this. They had one that had a light in it, that you could light it up, and I had that, but I never put it together, and I ended up selling it on eBay. But yeah, it's something that I remember that time, I treasure that time where I was just so frustrated trying to put this thing together. And I think it came out pretty good, and I love it up there on the shelf. And there's a little placard under here, you can kind of see it right there. Yeah, not perfect, but I think pretty good. I'm just happy to have it in my collection because the Psycho House and the franchise are really important to me. Okay, number 9 for me is going to be this Bates Motel promotional key for Psycho 2. Sorry, it's shaking a little bit there. I've had this for a while. I was trying to recall exactly when I got it. I'm going to say I got this probably a few years before I moved in here. I'm going to say I had this. I've had this for probably maybe 20 years. And the tattoo on my arm, I actually have a Bates Motel key on my arm, which I'll show a close-up of now. But when I told my tattoo artist that's what I wanted, this is what I referenced. And if you lay the key directly on my tattoo, it is exactly a match for this. That's what I loved. It's like a little prop from the movie, even though it does have Psycho 2 stamped on it. Okay, number 8 for me is going to be my Salems Lot Horror Couture. I got these in October of 2022 thanks to my good friend Phil over at Phil's Creepy Videos. He let me know about these one Monday morning, and I lucked out in getting them, because if I had waited like 2 seconds longer, they would have been gone. They sold out. They only made 35 sets of these, and they were long gone. And at one point, I actually reached out to the seller and just to confirm that I had gotten them. And unfortunately, Barlo's hand, you can kind of see on his right hand right there, his fingers, 2 of his fingers broke. And there is supposed to be a Series 2, but it hasn't come out yet. And I've checked with Distinctive Dummies, the point of contact for this, because I did make him aware that the hand was damaged. But Series 2 has not released yet. There's supposed to be, and it's supposed to consist of Ben Mears, Mark Petrie, Marjorie Glick, and Mike Ryerson. But I don't know when that's going to come out, and it's been a year and a half since I got these. But I love them. I love them here in the case, and I used their little... They came in plastic bags and had these little cards at the top, so I used them as place cards. But I love that Ralphie comes with the window. Just really, really cool. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it so the glare doesn't hit this, but yeah, these are just amazing, and I'm so happy that I have them, and hats off to my good friend Phil for making me aware. Okay, number 7 for me is going to be this Mr. Hyde and Bugs Bunny pop set. This came out in 2017. It was for Comic-Con that year, and it was extremely limited, only 850 pieces. So this thing was like $200 a week after Comic-Con, and that's how much I paid for it. I paid about $250 for this, and this thing now goes, I've seen it go as high as $2,000. But this cartoon, Hyde and Hare, is one of my favorite cartoons of all time, and my grandmother and I would watch this every time it came on. It's still my favorite cartoon, and this is a piece that I hold near and dear and will never get rid of it. I absolutely love it. My next favorite item will be this American Werewolf in London piece right there in between the Creeper and Barlo. That is a Soda Toys release. It's one of my first videos that I did on this channel showcasing this. I got this off of eBay. I had a little bidding war for this one. I don't know the number on it because the number is illegible on the bottom, but I know they only made 1,000 pieces of this. Came out like I think in 2003, so it was like 7 years old when I found it, and I have no idea what these things go for now, but absolutely love this piece. Okay, number 5 for me is going to be this amazing Jason statue from Sideshow. This is called The Legend of Crystal Lake. I got this in October of 2016, and I pre-ordered it the summer of 2015. At the very end of July, I pre-ordered it. I did a payment plan on it because the thing was big bucks. And a funny story about this one is I pre-ordered it when I still worked for a cookware company, and I had planned on having the item shipped there to our warehouse. I got laid off from there in January of 2016, so when this thing showed up, I forgot to double check the address, and it was shipped to my old company. Luckily, I had a great friend, my friend Amy, and she actually picked it up and took it to her house, and I met her. I was working at Google at the time, and after I got home from Google, I drove to her house, and she had this in the back of her car. So big hats off to my friend Amy. I miss her. I don't see her anymore. And you know, this is still, I think, one of the most amazing Jason statues ever made. I absolutely love it. Number 4 for me is going to be this Jeepers Creepers statue from Hollywood Collectibles. This is an extremely limited piece, one that was limited to about 600 pieces. I have number 8, which is shocking, and I just happened upon this one in the winter of 2018, and this is just an amazing piece, one that just completely it just blows me away every time I see it. I had been looking for it for years, and I just think it's a perfect representation of that amazing character created by Jonathan Breck. Okay, number 3 for me is going to be this awesome Salem's Lot poster. I again apologize for the glare. But this amazing poster by Christopher Franchi, artist Christopher Franchi. I absolutely adore this thing. It's the most money I've ever spent on a poster. This was something that I was made aware of through my favorite horror podcast, that being Thing with Two Heads, with Sean Clark and Christopher Nelson. Christopher Franchi sent them a couple of these posters. Christopher Franchi is known for doing pinball machine art, and I just think he does such a fantastic job in capturing all of these characters and locations from my favorite movie of all time. In the corner there, you can barely see it. It's signed on the bottom right. And yeah, I adore this thing. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I'm so happy that I have it here on my wall. And number 2 for me is going to be this amazing book, Behind the Scenes of Psycho, that was written by Janet Leigh, the late great actress who played Marion Crane in the film and just was a Hollywood royalty. She was an icon. My grandmother bought me this book in the summer of 1995, and I actually had the opportunity to meet Janet Leigh. I met her at a bookstore in San Francisco. I believe it was called Aladdin Books. Again, I'm reaching. This is 1995. It was a small bookstore. It wasn't a Barnes & Noble or a Borders or anything like that. And Janet Leigh was on the news that day on Channel 2 News at 12 o'clock talking about this book. And I had just finished reading it. And she talked about it, and they said she was going to be at that bookstore. And I remember calling my grandmother. I had never driven to San Francisco by myself, and I was 21 years old. And I just told my grandmother, I said, look, she's going to be at this bookstore. What do I do? She said, go. And luckily she told me to do that because I jumped in my car and drove there, and I got really lost. Finally ended up parking, walking up to this bookstore, and seeing her in the corner of this bookstore. There wasn't a lot of people in front of me. I think there was maybe 1 to 2 people in front of me. Going up to her, talking to her briefly, she signed my book, personalized it to me, and I remember shaking her hand. She had very tiny hands, very sweet woman. And the fact that I have this, and you can see it right there, it says "To Bid, Janet Leigh," means so much to me. I just consider myself very, very lucky that I was able to have that experience, to meet her and tell her how much I appreciated everything that she did. And I'm saddened that she passed away like 9 years after that encounter. Just, you know, if I hadn't taken my grandmother's advice to go and just do it, and I never would have had that opportunity again. But hands down, my favorite collectible in my collection is this amazing Barlo Bust that I was gifted last year by a friend John Loft, who was a fan of my channel, and he reached out to me and said that he had something from my collection that he wanted to give me. I had no idea what it was, and when this thing showed up, I was beyond blown away. It is an amazing, amazing piece that I treasure so much, and it's here in my office. I see it every day, and every day I'm just floored by how amazing this thing looks. It's the greatest piece I have. It's a more recent piece that I've gotten. It's probably something I would have never known about, and the fact that someone who only knows me through my YouTube channel, the fact that I was given this, it still just shocks me to this day that someone was kind enough to give this to me. So I want to thank everyone for taking the time to watch this video. It was a lot of fun doing this. Like I said, I love everything in my collection. These are just my top 10 pieces. Everything I have in this collection means so much to me. And I'm not rich by any means. Everything I got in here I bought with my own money, and a lot of times I had to do payment plans. But I'm grateful that I have this outlet. I'm grateful for everybody that supports me, and I'm so thankful that you guys took the time to watch this video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Let me know what your favorite collectible was that I showcased. And as always, I will talk to you again very, very soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always. Peace. Hey my fellow Fright Fiends, I just want to thank everyone for supporting BoogeyMan Ben's Horror Zone. If you haven't yet subscribed and you'd like to, please hit the subscribe button down below. Click the bell notification so you're updated every time I drop a new video. I try to drop a video at least once or twice a week. The Horror Zone is a passion of mine, and it really makes me happy that I can share that passion with all of you guys. Thanks so much again for the support, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always. Peace.